Once again, welcome back. It's exciting in here with just 9 rounds to go. A chance to have a look at the team leaderboards and the overall leaderboard. Let's start with the team. Andrew McLeod's going really well. Remember how strong he was at the end of the year? Not without a chance on 10. Mark Prosciutto on 8. So watch for McLeod. The trouble, the Crows did only win 2 of their last 7. Luke Power, Nigel Lappin. Perhaps Michael Voss is going to leave his run too late there for the Lions. At Carlton, where they've got so many doing well, Cooter, you reckon he had to do it by round 17? He's 15, and Brett Ratton's on 13, and Craig Bradley on 9. Scott Camperelli back on 3. Collingwood, Nathan Buckley got off to a fly. We expected that. He's on 12. And still in touch with the leaders. Then to Essendon. Now, there have been 13 rounds, 78 possible votes, and the Bombers have got 74 out of 78 so far. That's how good they've been. James Hird on 16. Leads from Matty Lloyd on 9 and Joe Mercedes on 7. A remarkable effort by Essendon. Fletcher Hayes will be the 2 leaders at Fremantle with 7 and 6. So the Dockers a bit off the pace there. The Cats, Hocking and Scholl both on 7. Riccardi and Clark on 5. From the Cats we go to the Hawks. Mark Graham, Nick Holland. It doesn't look like it'll be a Hawthorn success tonight. They're on 6 and 5. From the Hawks to the Kangaroos. Brent Harvey and Wayne Carey up the top, both on 11. Both all Australians, and David King on 7. From the Kangaroos, one of the big stories of the night, Shane Woden on 16, and Andrew Leoncelli on 9, and Jeff White on 8, all playing in their first grand final this week. Peter Burgoyne on 5 leads Port Adelaide with Josh Franco, who's won a McGarry medal. He's on 3. From the Power to the Tigers, Matty Knight's on 8, Rory Hilton on 7, so their captain leading there, and Darren Gasper on 5. To the Saints, no winner this year, Robert Harvey up the top there with 5. Won it a couple of times halves. What a great player. He's had over 150 all-time votes. Mickey O'Loughlin, his best year yet as a Brownlow vote getter, leading on 10 from Wayne Schwass on 6. To West Coast, Dean Kemp 8, Ben Cousins 7, Scott Cummings on 6. And finally to the Bulldogs, but not least, that's for sure, because Scotty West on 17. Remember, he was 3rd a couple of years ago. And Liver, who won 10 years ago in 1990 on 10, and Chris Grant on 7. So that's the team boards. Now, overall, the leaderboard, Scotty West has polled in 7 matches for 3 best on grounds. Shane Woden, 7 matches, 3 best on grounds. Jimmy Hird, James has voted in 7 for 3 best on grounds. And Cooter, he's polled in 6 games so far, and 3 times he's been on the best. He's been the best on the ground. So 17, 16, 16, 15, and then over the page, Brent Harvey, Wayne Carey, Mickey O'Loughlin, and Andrew McLeod and Tony Liberatore all on 10. So Scott West is the leader at this stage with 9 rounds to go. Good luck, Scotty, in front. All the best to you. So let's now go to round number 14 as we pick up the votes.
Five first-half goals from Wayne Carey and a 40-point lead for the Roos at three-quarter time were barely sufficient as Brisbane failed by only 4 points. A 9-goal blitz in a quarter and a half from Jeff Farmer saw Melbourne thrash old rivals Collingwood. The Wiz just sensational.
Jeff didn't really get on until the 10-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, and was quite exceptional, the ability to kick 9 in that amount of time. Just shows the ability he's got.
Port Adelaide won for the first time against the Eagles. Stephen starring in wet conditions in Perth. 16 Hawks joined in the goal-kicking feast against St Kilda. Skipper Shane Crawford back to his best in a match relocated from Colonial.
He's worked hard, and, you know, he got the possessions today, which he probably hasn't been getting. You know, his work rate's been up, but he hasn't found the ball that much, so I was really pleased for him.
Sydney ended Essendon's run of 17 successive 100-point-plus games, but could not take the points. Mercedes and Hird helping the Bombers to their 14th straight win. Half a dozen goals to Lance Whitnell was the difference as Carlton moved 2 games clear into 2nd spot at Geelong's expense. Adelaide continued their mid-season rise, easily accounting for the Dockers at Football Park, while Richmond made it 8 from 10, moved into 3rd place, and with Big Betty Gale in awesome form, proved far too strong for the Bulldogs on the Queen's birthday at the MCG.
Round 14, St Kilda versus Hawthorn. Hawthorn D. Harford, 1 vote. Hawthorn T. Crode, 2 votes. Hawthorn S. Crawford, 3 votes. West Coast Eagles versus Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide B. Montgomery, 1 vote. Port Adelaide, J. Franco, 2 votes. Port Adelaide, N. Stevens, 3 votes. Carlton versus Geelong. Geelong, B. Graham, 1 vote. Geelong, B. Scholl, 2 votes. Carlton, L. Whitnell, 3 votes. Sydney versus Essendon. Essendon, S. Lucas, 1 vote. Sydney, D. Creswell, 2 votes. Sydney, J. Bolton, 3 votes. Adelaide versus Fremantle. Adelaide, T. Edwards, 1 vote. Adelaide, A. McLeod, 2 votes. Adelaide, S. Goodwin, 3 votes. Richmond versus the Western Bulldogs. Richmond, M. Knights, 1 vote. Richmond, B. Gale, 2 votes. Richmond, L. Cameron, 3 votes. Kangaroos versus Brisbane Lions. Kangaroos, B. Harvey, 1 vote. Kangaroos, J. McCartney, 2 votes. Kangaroos, S. Clayton, 3 votes. Melbourne versus Collingwood. Melbourne, R. Robertson, 1 vote. Melbourne, J. Farmer, 2 votes. Melbourne, A. Uze, 3 votes.
There would be joy for one side. This time, Collingwood after 9 straight losses. Buckley back to his best as they consolidated St Kilda's place at the bottom of the ladder. An 8-goal opening quarter by Carlton left the Crows wondering what had hit them. Whitnell with 6 and another gem by veteran Bradley helped the Blues to a 24-point win. Brisbane had a day out at Shell Stadium. 5 goals up at quarter time. They went on with the job against the Shell-shocked Cats. Lappin terrific. Paul Salmon played his 300th game, but had little to celebrate as Melbourne swamped Hawthorn. Jeff Farmer continuing his goal-kicking form with 7 more and a 69-point win. Kevin Sheedy grabbed the headlines after his half-time outburst, but his Bombers had little to fear from the West Coast. The mounting injury toll at Punt Road had sapped Richmond's strength, and against Port Adelaide, the Tigers faded badly. Wanganeen with 4, most effective in a 28-point upset. Paul Kelly was a shock inclusion, but even the presence of the superstar for his first game this season couldn't lift Sydney against Fremantle. And in one of the most thrilling matches of the season, the Kangaroos all but had the points against the Bulldogs. 42 points up in the 3rd quarter, they would falter badly as the ruckwork of Luke Darcy and 5 goals from Brad Johnson turned the game. The Dogs by a kick.
Oh, fantastic win by the Western Bulldogs.
Round 15, Port Adelaide versus Richmond. Port Adelaide, S. Dew, 1 vote. Richmond, P. Broderick, 2 votes. Port Adelaide, B. Lyle, 3 votes. Fremantle versus Sydney. Fremantle, C. Waterhouse, 1 vote. Fremantle, T. Cook, 2 votes. Fremantle, B. Fuster, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs versus Kangaroos. Western Bulldogs, S. West, 1 vote. Kangaroos, D. King, 2 votes. Western Bulldogs, P. Dimatina, 3 votes. Essendon versus West Coast Eagles. Essendon, J. Johnston, 1 vote. Essendon, J. Blumfield, 2 votes. Essendon, D. Fletcher, 3 votes. Hawthorn versus Melbourne. Melbourne, J. Farmer, 1 vote. Melbourne, G. Rigoni, 2 votes. Melbourne, A. Uze, 3 votes. Geelong versus Brisbane. Brisbane, J. Lepich, 1 vote. Brisbane, D. Bradshaw, 2 votes. Brisbane, N. Lappin, 3 votes. Carlton versus Adelaide. Carlton, C. Bradley, 1 vote. Carlton, T. Houghton, 2 votes. Carlton, B. Ratton, 3 votes. Collingwood versus St Kilda. Collingwood, B. Johnson, 1 vote. Collingwood, M. Richardson,